This week we will be working on a 4-day writing task. But first, we're going to work through an example together. So, let's begin by looking at our writing prompt for this week. In the book, Shaping the Constitution, it describes some of the freedoms provided by the Bill of Rights. Describe one of those rights using evidence from the text. Why do you think that right is important? So we're going to look more at this prompt, and I'm going to help you with some of this, but let's take a quick reminder of what a successful constructed response looks like. Remember RACE. 1, it restates the question. That's where the R comes from. So I need to restate the question in my answer. A, I answer the question. Gives a direct answer to the question, so I need to actually make sure I answer it. 3, cites quotes and examples from the text or texts that support the answer. Number 4, gives a thorough explanation, the E, using the cited text evidence to support my answer. And then the end is RACES, add an S to it, and you're going to summarize those key points by adding a small conclusion statement. So today, what you're going to do is you're going to come back right here to slide number 2, and you're going to find the book Shaping the Constitution. It is right here. I'm adding an arrow. All you have to do is click on that book, and you're going to turn to pages 27 and 28. When you get there, I'd like you to take just a few minutes and read through pages 26, 27, and 28 to find some of the rights that are explained by the Bill of Rights. I'll give you a moment. Hopefully you've had time now to read through the book and found some of those rights from the Constitution, from the Bill of Rights. But if not, I can help you. Let's see if I can highlight some. So what I'm doing is I'm skimming through and I'm looking for the word rights as I'm going through here, and that's going to help me find it. Oh, I found the word rights right here. In many ways, the Constitution is a living document. It changes over time. Almost immediately after the Constitution was approved, amendments or changes were added. The Bill of Rights contains the first 10 amendments. And remember, amendment is a change. So that didn't tell me what those changes were, what the rights are. So let's keep reading. This bill made sure that people had certain rights, such as the right to free speech, the freedom of the press, and freedom of religion. All United States citizens enjoy these important rights. Let's take just a second to think about that. What is the right to free speech? Well, the right to free speech means that I can go out and I can say things that I believe in. If I believe something is wrong, I can stand up in front of a group of people and say that I think this is wrong. Or if I think a new law should be passed, I can get up and I can say to my government, I think you need to pass a law on this. Or if I don't think a law was a very good idea, I can say, I think we should repeal this law or get rid of this law because that law is not a good law to have. Freedom of the press. Freedom of the press is the newspapers, that they are free to report exactly what is happening in the world. They're not allowed to lie, but they are allowed to report what is happening in the world and in the communities and around them to the public. The next one is freedom of religion. So you can practice whatever religion you want to believe in. Let's go ahead and move now to the next slide. As I continue to read, once again, I'm looking for the words rights. Let's see, there are 27 amendments that have been added over 200 years. Remember, amendments are changes, so they've changed the Constitution 27 times over the last 200 years. That's also very interesting. If I keep reading, I read right here, some important amendments in the past include giving African Americans and women the right to vote. So the right to vote is another constitutional change that was made by the Bill of Rights. So they have amended the Constitution, and they have also given everybody the right to vote. Not just white men can vote. Now African Americans can vote, Hispanic Americans can vote, and women have the right to vote as well. So we have a few different rights that were said inside of the text. We have the right to vote for women, the right to vote for African Americans and non-white people. We have the right to freedom of speech, the right of freedom of the press, and the right of freedom of religion. So let's go back to today's writing task. On day 1, all you're supposed to do is list some of the rights from those pages. So what were a few of the rights that we talked about? You're going to go ahead now and write down some of those. So I will do the first one for you. The right of free speech. What other ones can you remember? Make sure you turn this assignment in when you're done.